it's really stupid, but it's extremely effective. Basically, as soon as I see the hips go in line, I usually have enough room. See how like I'm kind of moving myself there? I'm not just stretching my leg. If that feels difficult, I'm gonna move my whole torso down side, okay? Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3. Even from a standing position, I'm a really big fan of, your butts is showing.
Sorry.
Like even for arm drags, you know, when we teach typical arm drags, often we see a lot of arm drag grips like this. It's very straight arm. I'm a really big fan of using inverted grips, where it almost feels similar because I have this inverted grip. I think for me, it reminds me of this a little bit more. But I'm a really big fan of like taking the arm drag in this way. For a more traditional 2-on-1, at AOJ we do the 2-on-1 a lot. Let's do this leg. We do this one a lot, but as I said, like I think often with the 2-on-1, it really does force us to be very forward, and we have to go. And I feel like it's a lot more linear in that I have to keep the attachment to the 2-on-1. Like I can still get to the inside. Obviously, I can still get the inside position, but I don't have the versatility of what I was showing with this grip, that we can continue to actually play with the off balances, get to the top position. I want us to have the duality between we are getting to the top position, also with a sleeve grip, that makes it incredibly difficult for him to play a good guard, because once they get to the top position, he only has one arm. And I have everything available to continue the pass. So actually it improves my success rate in continuing the funnel. With the 2-on-1, like often it's also good, right? Because like if I show something from here, I can still also play in a similar way. But it's still pretty good. But right now I'm trying to play with these different off-balancing ankle picks and stuff. So I think it's also personal preference. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone have any difficulty with any of them? Yeah, talk to me about it. Tell me.
The entry on the second variation, where like it's mirrored.
Yeah.
That hard to remember. Didn't feel like a really natural entry, but maybe it's just inexperience.
I think. Did you end up asking your opponent to give you any resistance?
Even without resistance.
I think it's easier with a little bit of movement. So when I say resistance, it doesn't mean that we're like using a lot of strength and physicality, but we're mimicking the movements of what we would feel in a real roll. I think when you have a little bit of movement and momentum, some of you when I was walking around, you're like standing upright like this, or like this, then the body positioning of how a person positions themselves influences what we should do. So it would be more awkward to attempt one of the variations if the person is very stiff or they're not really moving a lot, you know? Because if the legs are super upright, like I feel like doing all of this feels really weird. It feels like he's just gonna like hip bump me out and fall to the floor, right? In the case where someone has a very square stance, instead often you see like the dummy sweep, where it's more like this sort of stuff, right? So we have to remember something that will make these off balances and sweeps more available is reading our partner's body positioning, or if you stand up, whether it be split stance, staggered stance, head forward. These are a lot of tells that tells us like, okay, if the head is forward, like so, give this like forward, this tells me that it's easy to bring him in this direction. Because I feel that, I'm actually more unlikely to try and go for the ankle pick a lot of the time, even though I can still make it work. When I see this sort of position, I feel more inclined to try and go in between the legs. But sometimes when you go for the ankle pick, or let's talk about option 1, where I'm trying to do this, and he takes it back, right? I take the leg back. Now often, like I feel like you can come in close and still find opportunities to go into option 3. So it's more like just building the sense of like, okay, if they take the leg back, what becomes more available? Then you actually start to see, okay, that's how we get to option 2, versus like just trying to force option 2. It's just assessing where the feet are in space, where is the head in space, and forcing different reactions. Like it could be that you're trying to ankle pick, he steps back, and actually you're just getting back into a different guard position. So it's not the fact that we have to land the ankle pick, but more that we're always occupying the attention to get to the next best thing. So hopefully that's slightly helpful. Let's continue then, if there's no more questions. So, something that I've also been working on after we get to inside position, but let's start to see what are some other ways we can get to inside position outside of these ankle picks and the entry that we've been doing with the reverse shin on shin. So, if I miss getting to the inside position, it's almost always okay because I still have an attachment to my partner's upper body through the sleeve grip. So generally I'll use the momentum of my back coming to the mat to bring them closer to me. And I'm generally trying to pull in the sleeve so I can get better attachment to the lower body, okay? So I'll show a sequence that I like to do that we can get to the inside position. But what I would encourage you guys to do is not to necessarily copy me one for one with all of the moves. If there's ways that you like to get to the inside space already, I would encourage you to hear what I'm saying more on a conceptual level and try and understand, okay, that's how she likes to do it, but I just want you to find a way to enter the inside space, and then you can look at more of the details of what I'm doing from the inside position. Post your hand. Actually, sorry, keep your hand. Post this. So, turn around. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the camera angle. So once we get to the inside position, right now I'm opting for the butterfly ashi position. There's a couple of different things that I want us to practice today. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk us through it. The first one is finding a way to attach to the near side sleeve. That I'm able, from an overhook position, I'm intercepting this, and you can play around with a 2-on-1, just simply just grabbing both of the hands on the wrist, or one grip, because the second hand can then go for the far side pen grip. Regardless of whether I manage to grab this or not, because again, against a very skilled opponent, this is often very difficult to get, or they put their knee on the mat, so it's much more difficult actually to find it. Or they're hand fighting me, and I can't do it. One of the easiest ways that I like to score from this position is actually just literally just getting up. But it becomes very easy because of the nature of the butterfly ashi that I have in this position. So what I'm looking to do in this position is to build height. So the more I can turn to my side body, a flat back position naturally makes me the shortest version of myself. As soon as I turn to side body, especially with the assistance of the butterfly ashi, it helps me push into Elias's hip. It's a little bit easier for me to keep this leg shelved and put more weight into the back leg. So for now, I'm going to try and build up to my elbow, but I'm not forcing myself from here. I'm pushing and putting more weight in that direction, so this leg gets lighter, and I'm able to get to my elbow. In any case, from here, it's very easy for me to get up to this position. I can either retreat backwards or charge forwards. But again, you see I'm in a position where I have the sleeve control, and it's putting me in a position where I feel he is at more of a disadvantage than I am in this position. It is very conducive for me to start trying to pass to the north-south, or I can also come under this leg. And we always end up in a position where I would say probability, 75% of the way past. Okay, so we look at the position again. Again, the entry doesn't really matter, but if we can, I want you to try and integrate some level, sorry, go back again. I want us to try to integrate some level of what we were doing. You see, I don't have to go to this side, I just want to find the inside position. I'm trying to manipulate where his body is in space, that I'm able to get either the near side or, come back to setting. This is another variation that I've been working on, which I thought looks really stupid, but it's extremely effective. If my partner stays in a standing position, and let's say they have an extremely good base, they're very difficult to sweep typically, I'm actually trying to send this leg behind the body, so I can either use the sleeve grip or the collar grip. I've been playing around with both, I like them both equally, but I'm looking to not extend this leg without making sure that Elias's hips is more over my own, because in this position I do risk getting this hook cleared and getting mounted in this position. So I'm really cognizant of using the butterfly ashi hook to push more into this space, that I'm able to get to the other side. In doing so, now I can push with the arm, and it's a similar mechanic to what we were doing from the initial seated guard off balance. When I'm pushing it across the body, I have a strong connection to this lead leg. So when I have both here, there are a lot of different ways that we can try and get around the body or go directly into the footlocks from this position. Okay, so if we take a look at it one more time, I want us to play with these two variations first. So again, we'll be trying to do this. We're trying to go from here. So we either try to get into some sort of foot submission, or when I feel the momentum of my partner falling to the mat, I can also immediately just retract my feet and come to the top position like so. Remember not to let this go, because then you're landing in a position that's directly in front, which isn't advantageous to our passing. But if I have the sleeve grip, often what we can do, either we can try to create an asymmetry, which means usually one leg high, one leg low. If both legs are symmetrical, it's equally difficult on both sides. But because we're already landing at a slight angle, and I'm pushing one arm to one side, it's easy for us to start to assert. But also because we have this, if they start to pummel that foot over the top like a shadow lasso, we have the ability to create an angle. We can look for our stacks. We can also try to pummel our head and stack in this way, and hunt from the back take from here. Yes. Do it one more time, both variations. So again, you can just set up and get to your inside position any way you like. And to get this near side grip, right now I'm just grabbing it just to speed up the demonstration. But naturally, while you guys are practicing, as you're increasing the resistance or the movement, try and see like, oh, where the person would naturally base. Or lately I've been having a lot of people also trying to go from underneath of the leg to try and grab my own pants. So this will kill a lot of your ability to get the guard. So usually when I start seeing the person pummel over to that side, when they start weaving their hand to that side, I start trying to get their hands to the mat, and this is where I would try to find the window to give it to this hand. So then we can go. One more time. Okay, so you don't have to super focus on the pass right now. What I want you to focus on is just trying the two sweep options, and we can see how to better connect the passes together. Does anyone need to see any of the options one more time?
Can we see that wraparound one?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's called, the wraparound one. Yeah.
Actually, trying to find the name for it. This is what I've been doing from here. If like we end up in this position, I try to turn to the inside, and usually try to fill up from there. So a lot of the transitions I'm trying to link to foot locking positions. If it's not into a foot locking position, trying to get in a position where I land in a good passing position with a sleeve control that the person can't really grip me, or they're limited to just gripping with one hand. Okay? Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3. For this suggestion that I'm about to do, but usually I don't want to sexually harass the liar, so can you pull your pants down a little bit, the crotch area? Yeah. But there's a little bit of loose material here that you can put your foot into.
I see.
That this allows a little bit more overhead movement. Now, of course, this is probably easier female to female, so a lot less collisions. Otherwise, you just ball stomp on someone. Usually very highly effective in this position. But generally speaking, when we have the butterfly ashi position, if we are trying to go back and around, see, I don't really hit it either from this position. Just because if we look at where his hips are in space versus mine are a lot further forward. So often what you can do, you can try to, it's not just solely reliant on the secondary leg. Usually I feel like I can use this leg to influence him to step forward enough, and I try to use this arm too. Then I try to, basically as soon as I see the hips go in line, I usually have enough room. See how like I'm kind of moving myself there? I'm not just stretching my leg. If that feels difficult, I'm gonna move my whole torso that side. which is a lot more conducive to what I've been showing some people, which is trying to attack this ankle lock in this position. Because once I have the sleeve, and I feel the person falling through space, I'll abandon it, I kind of chuck it, so that I can transition to the ankle up and go belly down on this side. So hopefully that helps. Or if you're training with her, you try this pant detail that I also show. Because actually a lot of people do it from these types of positions where you can step over here. So it feels really annoying. If you're trying to get a stronger De La Riva, a lot of people actually do this. And it is quite sticky when you use this position. Sorry. Any other questions? Again, anyone have any trouble? Can even be about like, oh Margot, I have trouble going to the inside position, because that is a goal in itself. A lot of the things I'm showing right now require us to have enough knowledge and ability to get to inside position. And usually how I see things, like when we look at things in terms of gameplay from start to finish, I'm better trying to understand, okay, in order to get to inside position, we start from a space that's outside position. That was why I intentionally chose to start from this seated guard position, where if I have a successful guard pull, I have to first make a meaningful connection, which could be sleeve grip, pant grip, collar grip, some combination of those, that I'm able to at least get my feet on the person, but usually it's always an outside space position or an upper body position that allows us to get into the inside space between the legs, right? If there are no more questions, what I'm going to show is actually...
Do you mind?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. I mind!
I feel this inside position, sort of open guard from the bottom, is really alien to me.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, what are the pillars of your base and your leverage when you're, whether it's De La Riva or X guard, or just that inside position in general?
How do you currently look at it?
I think that I mostly use the cross collar, but I think that my knees collapse really easily.
Can I, if I could bother you for a second to show me with a partner just how you like to off balance?
Sure, yeah.
You do it.
All eyes on Nate.
Yeah. So I guess I would probably start with attacking like a collar, and then I would pull in. Maybe something like this. And spread them out. And where I normally come actually is in the De La Riva here. And so I might come here.
Yeah.
But I feel like what typically happens is this hook concedes really easily.
Yeah.
So it feels really weak. And then once I'm here, like I was saying, my knee's collapsing.
Yeah.
My knees are already coming down.
Gotcha.
And I almost feel like the position is so weak that it's hard to be here long enough to even get better at it. If that makes sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know if that helps.
Are you primarily doing left side off balances, or do you also look for right side off balances?
Left side.
Okay, because left side for me predominantly, depending on your grip selection, left side off balances usually funnel to berimbolo type stuff. Actually, what I'm about to show is De La Riva with the far side sleeve control, which will actually limit your partner's ability to stuff your inside leg,
Okay.
your secondary leg.
Okay. Cool.
But the reason why I'm also asking you is just to see your natural movement, so I can also help you afterwards.
Yeah.
So for example, if you see me play De La Riva on the left side, we always need to have an inbuilt reaction that if I am off balancing here and they manage to stuff this leg, or they stuff the leg, they step over, I have to have this ability to understand how to get back to the position, that I understand how to better my timing on the second rep. Because we shouldn't have the mindset that we're going to attempt the left side off balance the first attempt and we're going to succeed at it. Because against someone who's skilled, like if you're sparring with him, you're definitely not going to succeed the first time. But you see like how I'm positioning my leg, I'm already ready to receive weight. I think a very common mistake that happens when we're trying to do the left side off balance, we commit so much to it that afterwards when they do come to step over, we're almost not ready or we stay too long, like he sits his weight heavy. Yeah, and if they sit the weight heavy, almost like a headquarters or snatch toss, this is a lot more difficult to start to reset from. We have to really frame. And again, ideally I would try to get to the inside space.
Okay.
Like once that sort of position or scenario happens. But again, just to show that reaction, so if I'm here and I start committing to the left side, you see how like I'm bringing the weight overhead. So actually, I don't need to keep the attachment of the De La Riva momentarily. All the weight is in his left leg and his left hand. And now I'm anticipating that he's going to square up, but I'm circling, coming back here, either re-attempting to go here,
Right.
or I reorganize myself to go for a right side off balance. And the main reason why I'm asking if you go right side off balance, because my mindset is left side off balance, normally berimbolo. Right side off balance is 80% of sweeps, like inside position, X guard. The thing that I'm about to show everyone, so I'm going to use your question to funnel into the next one.
Great.
But guys, if you have more questions, do ask, feel free.
I do have one quick one.
Go
I think
for
it's
it.
just like your entry, like,
Yeah.
are you going straight into that like butterfly ashi hook, or are you going De La Riva first and then transitioning like by off balancing? What's your
Yes,
usual
yeah.
rule? I mean, yeah, for that entry we were kind of doing earlier.
Yeah. So normally I am starting from some type of outside position. So I would say normally if I'm sparring, I get upper body connection, I swing, I off balance to the right side, I pummel my leg to the inside, and then I will have a setup that I'm already in the inside position with the butterfly ashi. Now what my right hand does, it really depends because I already have the far side collar. I will often keep it. So for example, if he starts to posture up or I manipulate him, I maintain the collar. But you see that collar grip also helps pull me in to the knee cut for this position. But I would say most of the time it's either an upper body guard position that I connect, I funnel myself to the De La Riva, or you can do something like this, where you have upper body positioning. Let me turn towards Jake. So I have upper body positioning, I pummel this leg to the inside. Because I already have inside position underneath of the armpit, it's already kind of by the hip. But you see how my knee is turning to the inside. I'm gonna externally rotate. I externally rotate the knee to the inside, but look what I do with the arm. I'm kind of here, I lost the grip.
Okay.
So I'm already inside.
Gotcha.
And I'm still holding the sleeve here, but of course it's not the variation we did before, but I can still go to like the pants here, for example. There are a lot of things.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions? Well, I'll move on to the next thing. You can ask more questions after.